Global War Update today: Iran, Israel, Russia, and Ukraine. The world is witnessing one of the most tense geopolitical moments in decades. Conflicts across the Middle East and Eastern Europe are reshaping international alliances, global security, and the world economy. The ongoing confrontations involving Iran, Israel, the United States, Russia, and Ukraine are not isolated events. They are interconnected crises that are influencing global politics, military strategies, and energy markets. This global war update highlights the latest developments and explains how these conflicts could shape the future of international relations. The Iran-Israel War, a conflict expanding across the Middle East. The most explosive conflict right now is the war between Iran and Israel, which has rapidly escalated into a regional crisis. The conflict intensified after coordinated military strikes by the United States and Israel on Iranian military and nuclear facilities in late February 2026. These attacks triggered a massive retaliation from Iran using ballistic missiles and drones targeting Israel and U.S. military bases across the Gulf region. Iran launched hundreds of missiles and drones towards several countries, including Israel, Qatar, Bahrain, Kuwait, and the United Arab Emirates. Some of these strikes caused casualties and damage in cities across the region, while air defense systems intercepted many of the incoming attacks. Israeli cities have also been under repeated missile alerts as Iranian strikes targeted residential areas and infrastructure. Despite Israel's strong air defense systems, some missiles managed to penetrate defenses, causing civilian casualties and widespread fear among the population. Meanwhile, the conflict has expanded beyond direct attacks. Hezbollah in Lebanon has fired rockets into northern Israel, while Israeli forces responded with heavy airstrikes across southern Lebanon. This has raised fears that the war could grow into a full-scale regional confrontation involving multiple countries. Rising tensions in the Persian Gulf. The Persian Gulf has become one of the most sensitive strategic areas in the world. Iran has targeted Gulf countries with missiles and drone strikes, including attacks on the United Arab Emirates that caused casualties and damaged infrastructure. At the same time, shipping routes through the Strait of Hormuz, one of the most important oil transport corridors on Earth, have become increasingly dangerous. Insurance costs for ships traveling through the region have surged dramatically due to fears of further attacks. This has already started affecting global energy markets. Oil prices have surged above $100 per barrel as fears grow that the war could disrupt global energy supplies. The economic impact of this conflict could be felt around the world, from rising fuel prices to increased inflation in many countries. The Russia-Ukraine War, still reshaping Europe. While the Middle East conflict dominates headlines, the war between Russia and Ukraine continues to rage in Eastern Europe. The war, which began with Russia's invasion in 2022, remains one of the most significant military confrontations in modern European history. Ukraine continues to rely heavily on Western military support, including weapons and air defense systems. However, Ukrainian leaders have warned that global attention shifting to the Middle East could weaken international support for their defense efforts. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky recently expressed concern that easing sanctions on Russian oil could give Moscow billions of dollars to fund its war effort. Meanwhile, Russia has attempted to strengthen its strategic partnerships with countries such as Iran. Analysts believe that the growing Middle East conflict could indirectly benefit Russia by shifting global focus away from Ukraine and affecting global energy markets. A dangerous global power struggle. Many experts believe the current conflicts represent more than regional wars. Instead, they are part of a larger global power struggle involving major world powers. The United States and its allies support Israel and Ukraine, while Russia and Iran have developed closer strategic cooperation in recent years. This has created a complex geopolitical landscape where conflicts in one region can influence events in another. For example, the Middle East war is affecting global oil markets and international diplomacy. The Russia-Ukraine war is reshaping Europe's security and military alliances. Global powers are increasing military spending and strengthening alliances in response to these crises. These developments have raised fears that the world may be entering a new era of geopolitical rivalry similar to the Cold War. What could happen next? The future of these conflicts remains uncertain. Several possible scenarios could unfold. Regional escalation in the Middle East if more countries become directly involved in the Iran-Israel conflict. Extended war in Ukraine as both sides continue fighting with no immediate peace agreement in sight. Economic shocks caused by disruptions in global energy supplies and trade routes. Diplomatic negotiations that could eventually reduce tensions if major powers push for peace talks. The coming months will likely determine whether these conflicts stabilize or escalate further. Conclusion. The world today faces multiple overlapping conflicts that are shaping global politics and security. From missile strikes in the Middle East to ongoing battles in Eastern Europe, the current geopolitical landscape is more fragile than it has been in decades. Understanding these wars is crucial because their impact goes beyond the battlefield, affecting global economies, international alliances, and the future of global stability. As the situation continues to evolve, the entire world watches closely, hoping that diplomacy and dialogue will eventually replace conflict and destruction.